The 14th Amendment, Section 3, is pretty clear. If you engage in acts of insurrection or rebellion against the government, or you give aid and comfort to those who do, you are disqualified from running. It doesn't require that you be convicted of insurrection. It just requires that you have engaged in these acts. It's a disqualification from holding office again, and it fits Donald Trump to a T. I think this will be tested when his Secretary of State either refuses to put him on the ballot or puts him on the ballot and is challenged by a litigant.
And here we go again with Adam Schiff, just back at it, just can't let it go whatsoever. Before we dive into this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you guys could please share so we could get the message out there. And here they go, beating the drum. So mind you, after all this stuff, he's a Russian spy. Oh, the Ukraine phone call. Now we're going to impeach him. We're going to impeach him again for inciting an insurrection, but he's going to get acquitted of that because at the end of the day, he told them to go over there peacefully and patriotically.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Something that they didn't put in with this whole indictment that he's going through, right? With the January 6th indictment with Jack, they just happened to leave those couple words out. That's kind of interesting, right? So here we go. Now we are on option Z22 square root S5 deluxe number 2.
What in the hell is he talking about?
That's what we're on now. This is the lengths that they're going to. So what is this now? So now we're saying it doesn't matter. Forget what the Constitution says that we have to go through. And I believe it's a 2/3 vote in Congress or something like that. And you look at all the finite details of it. No, he doesn't need to be convicted of that. Now we're going to go through secretaries of states to make sure that his name is not on the ballot. And this is only going to be in a couple places, right? I believe you have Arizona. You have a secretary of state, right? That's a Democrat there, supposedly. And then Michigan's another big one. And it's kind of interesting that he said this. And then on MSNBC, they bring in Joycelyn Benson. That's the Secretary of State Democrat in Michigan.
Is there such a thing on your checklist that deals with the very basic constitutional requirements to run for president, having to be a citizen, having to be born here, having to be of the age of 35, and then possibly, because people will ask you this, not having been involved in an insurrection after having taken an oath of office, swearing fealty to the Constitution?
Not explicitly in the law, and that's something of consideration here as well. I mean, we already have some active legal cases pursuing the question of who has the authority directing me not to allow anyone on the ballot who the Constitution may disqualify.
They're already teeing it up. I thought that he was dead to rights with the 90+ felony counts. I thought we had him. I thought we finally got him. The walls are closing in. That's what I've been told, right? So why would his name even have to be considered taken off the ballot if you guys already had him finished off? You see, it will never end. It's just it's like a waterfall, just cascading. Let's just keep moving on to the next one.
My viewers will understand why it is I wanted so badly to speak to you about this, because you really take the time to explain the detail about what is going to go into your decisions, and the whole country is going to be watching, not just all the Secretary of States, but very closely you, because you've been at the front of this discussion the whole time. We really appreciate your service to the country.
Once all this stuff falls apart, because they already know, just how they knew he wasn't a Russian spy and all, they know all what's going to end up happening with all these cases. They already know that. But now we're on to the very next option. We want to make sure we head it off. So let's build in the talks right now, so they already know that this was already in the works. We want the Secretary of States to take him off, and then we'll go from there. And if you dare put him on, we're going to make sure that we contest, and we want it to go all the way up to the Supreme Court.
And that's the big question mark through all of this, which is, what will the Supreme Court do? There are prominent constitutional scholars as well as prominent progressive scholars who believe that he should be disqualified.
But it's just so funny listening to him and others just beat this drum. They are petrified by this movement. This movement, they can just see it what's on. They already see all the problems that Joe has.
Democrats may have an uphill climb when it comes to perceptions of the economy. 65% of the people we spoke to say the economy is bad.
They are just terrified of this movement. All these indictments didn't work. He's still gaining popularity. He's distancing distancing himself in the polls. He's in a better position now than he was in 2020. They see all this stuff happening, and now they are completely petrified, and you're hearing it everywhere.
I mean, if Donald Trump gets elected, I think he will strain the Constitution in ways we have not yet imagined. And there's a question whether or not we end his 4 years intact as the republic that we started at.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm seeing things in a different way. You guys let me know. If he was dead to rights, right, and these cases were going to be the end of him, why are we talking about this and taking names off of ballots if that's the case? So you guys let me know. Maybe I'm tripping, or maybe they want to make sure that they double down because the court system is going to get him, but just in case they want to make sure that they remove his name as well. Or do they finally realize, or they've already knew all along, the cases are going to go nowhere? So this is our next step. I truly appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you guys could please share so we can get the message out there, and I will catch you guys on the next one.